Welcome back, Drutter Nation, to Drutter Madness. Round one continues here live with a 5:50 scheduled start. We may be a little bit behind on the tip-off as we have some pregame entertainment brought to you by none other than Joe Exotic with a little Here Kitty Kitty. If you haven't seen it, check out Tiger King on Netflix. It's a good way to pass some time. A real eye-opener. A look into a totally different culture that many people probably don't even know that's out there. As we see Cece LaMonica joining. Cece LaMonica, shout out to her. She's a great girl. We appreciate your viewership. We forgive you earlier for staging that court storm. We're glad you got off. You came to an agreement with the cops. Probably helped you were cute. Use them if you got them is what my old grandpap Milton used to say. As we get ready here, I believe Drutter Brother Kleiny's with us. We get ready for Seton Hall versus Eastern Washington. Any pregame insights, Kleiny, right before we run down the starting lineups?
Thanks, Drutter Cooley, and hey, Drutter Brothers. I think the key for victory today is three things. One, the ability to handle the pressure. I'd say the Pirates have a slight advantage here, given they spent most of their time at sea, and that is where atmospheric pressure tends to be highest. Number two, being able to buy low and sell high. And I'm not talking Xanax and Adderall, folks. I'm talking about being able to take advantage and sniffing the paint while potentially giving up the high balls. Wow, a lot of innuendos here. And number three, making sure the players use the restroom before tip-off. With a bunch of Pirates in the stand, I don't think there will be any issues finding the poop deck before today's game. Back to you, Drutter Cooley.
Thank you for those fascinating pregame insights. A little look at the strategy both teams may employ as we go quickly to their starting lineups. We don't want to delay too much. We know people have things to do. Sunday night dinners, Sunday Fun Day continues with Drutter Madness as the Seton Hall Pirates roll out a pretty tall lineup, starting with center Romaro Gill, number 33, usually number 35, and forward Sandro Mamukalashvili, I apologize, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, out of Tbilisi, Georgia, across the pond. That's Georgia, the country, not the state. He's 6'11", followed by some guards in the starting lineup. Miles Powell wearing 22 tonight. Quincy McKnight is the number 2 jersey, normally 0, and Jared Roden, number 14, normally number 14, he catches the lucky break. That's the starting lineup for the Pirates. Over on the Eagles side, soaring high, a smaller lineup, but with some hops. Kim Aiken Jr., number 43, the forward. Joining him is Mason Peatling, another forward wearing number 32 tonight. And 3 guards round out the top 5. Jacob Davison, number 34 tonight. Kassan Roos, number 5. Also getting lucky, normally wearing number 5. Cheers to them. And Jack Perry rounding out the top 5 at number 3. Let's get down to the game, to the hardwood, as we say, as warm-ups finish up here and we get ready for the tip. Seton Hall Pirates versus the Eastern Washington Eagles. I can't wait for this Drutter Madness.
And as Pirates say, arr!
And we see the cheerleaders warming up as well, getting their routines ready. We go down for the official tip. Sorry for the brief break. Had to run and get my NA. Tonight's NA brought to you by Kronbacher. Sip them if you got them. And Seton Hall controls the tip. No surprise there, as they are expected to win, but never count the lower seed out. We start seeing more and more madness in these tournaments these days. Not too many years ago, we had a 16 finally beat a 1. So it's definitely doable here as the Pirates take on the Eagles. 0-0 in the opening minutes. A deep 3 from Eastern Washington, trying to get the long range going early. Won't fall. And Seton Hall brings it back down. That's number 11. Or 22. Excuse me, Miles Powell. Over to number 2, Quincy McKnight. The jumper by McKnight blocked by Eastern Washington on a fast break. 2-on-1. Can't get it over to his teammate. Takes it inside himself. And the nifty move by number 3, Jack Perry, the 6'2 guard. Doing some fancy work there with his arms to get the 2 to go and take the early lead on Seton Hall.
Jack Perry, nephew of Tyler Perry.
You know, I wonder if he starred in any of his movies. He's sure got quite a few out there. You'd think he's probably made a cameo or two at least. As Seton Hall ties it up with the jumper. 2-2 early in the action here at round 1 of Drutter Madness. Another deep shot from Eastern Washington. Really wanting to get that going from the arc, but not getting either to fall so far. That was Kassan Bruce. Another guard. They roll out a pretty small lineup. Let's see if they can hang with the 2 7-footers from Seton Hall. Not getting inside so far. Seton Hall content to pass around the outside where they don't have as big of an advantage. And a turnover as they throw it out of bounds, unforced. Dribbling around, Eastern Washington abandoning the pass here as it was working earlier. Back over to the wings, looking for the open shots. Gets some room, takes the jumper, won't go. Lids on the buckets for both teams early on. Seton Hall dribbles back up. That's number 22, Miles Powell with the ball. Passes down to the baseline. And a shot off the side of the hoop. We call that a Heisman right there. You know why. Hashtag it off the side. Not a great shot. I believe that was number 23, Sandro. Seton Hall or Eastern Washington will take the ball back. A real slow-moving offensive game here so far. Fast-paced, but not a lot of points. Number 3, Jack Perry dribbles around, passes it over to number 34, Jacob Davidson, who puts up the shot, won't go, and the board grabbed by Seton Hall.
Yeah, the Eagles are gonna have to rely a little bit more on Jacob Davidson tonight. Jacob Davidson, aka Jakey Eggs and Bakey, the Long Beach, Cali native, same as, yep, you guessed it, Academy Award winning, Golden Globe winning, Screen Actors Guild Award winning, and 5-time Razzie Award nominee Nicolas Cage.
Hey, shout out to Nick Cage.
Jakey before the action to get his keys to success in today's game. He said, "I am not a demon. I'm a lizard, a shark, a heat-seeking panther. I want to be Bob Denver on acid playing the accordion." Number 2, he said, "I want to take their faces off. Eyes, nose, skin, teeth. It's coming off." Last thing, Willow Baby, he said, "It's not exactly Mai Tais and Yahtzee out here, but let's do it." Suspiciously sounds like his idol Nicolas Cage, but whatever you got to do to win. Back to you, Drutter.
Hey, if he's got to channel that inner Ghost Rider so he can ride his team to victory, that's what you got to do. Jack Perry playing well so far, as is Eastern Washington, keeping the lead by 1. Seton Hall coming back on the offensive end, but Eastern Washington keeping pace. Let's see if Jack Perry and crew can keep this up throughout the first half and keep it close against the Pirates, looking to rob one against the soaring Eagles. Coming in hot off a conference win. Not every team can say that in this tournament, as a lot of conference tournaments getting canceled before we were able to bring you Drutter Madness. Eastern Washington, one of the lucky few to get that championship under their belt before going into the tournament. As number 22, Miles Powell, puts in a layup. He's got quite a few points for Seton Hall early on here in the half. 2:30 left. Seton Hall up 3. You know, Miles Powell, he's a real hustler on the court. Before the game, Coach said he would walk 500 miles just to get to practice if he had to. Let's hope he never had to.
Yeah, let's hope not. Miles Powell, son of Miles Teller and Colin Powell, is a Trent, New Jersey native. He famous for the $46 Spirit Airline round-trip flights, most of us know, but also home to Supreme Court Justices Judge Samuel Alito and Antoine Scalia. Unlike these judges, Miles told me tonight this game is taking more of a Judge Jed approach. No, I am the law. The Pirates will need to play judge, jury, and executioner if they hope to win this battle against the high-flying Eagles.
And there was some law and order missed there on defense by Seton Hall, as Eastern Washington able to slash inside pretty easily and go back up by 1. Seton Hall on the other end just a minute ago not able to capitalize and punish them down low with big center. Eastern Washington really holding their own against the big fellas down low and getting to the rim early on here. They still haven't unleashed their three-point arsenal, as there they try another one from deep, and it won't go. That looked like number 3, Jack Perry. It could have been 5, Kassan Roos. Both decent three-point shooters, 40 and 45% respectively. And we try to keep everything respectful here, so respectively speaking is usually the way we're speaking. As Eastern Washington gets the ball back but loses it. Seton Hall on the fast break. That's right, showboat a little bit, young man. It's the big dance. It's Drutter madness. Show them why you're here. Throwing it down emphatically to take the 1-point lead. That was number 22, Miles Powell again? No. That was number 14, Rd1. Known as the Thinker. He certainly dunked that one with some thought in mind, doing the windmill and the thunderous slam to get the crowd on their feet. Eastern Washington will shoot
like
2.
A bat out of hell, Drutter.
That's right, he sure did. Rode in on a horse with no name like a bat out of hell. As the crowd gets loud, tied up here. And they quiet down for this last shot, a 3-point opportunity, as number 3, Jack Perry, is fouled on the 3-point play. Can't put the third one down, gets to a 3 though. And Eastern Washington remains up 1, 13-12 with 40 seconds left in the first half. Miles Powell dribbling up top, trying to get the offense going, over to number 2, Quincy McKnight, who will take the deep 3, and it won't go. He cannot lull that one into the hoop. Quincy McKnight, related to Brian McKnight. I was told he usually serenades the team at halftime. Let's see if he can sing some life back into them, as their shot's not falling, letting Eastern Washington hold on to this lead as it go back to the line with number 3, Jack Perry. An 89% free throw shooter. We were surprised to see him miss one earlier. And he misses again off the front of the rim. I need to shut my big mouth before I get him any more misses. Puts up the second, and will get that one to fall in to push the lead to 2. He's got to feel good about getting at least 1 and giving his team a 2-point lead with 16 seconds left in the half. Seton Hall passing it around, looking for a good open shot to end the half. Number 14, Rd1. Over to takes the deep shot, and Seton Hall can't get it to fall as the half closes. Eastern Washington Eagles. Speaking of Eagles, shout out to Eagle Brothers. Seymour, thanks for joining. Seymour Butts. Seymour live action here at Drutter Brothers Instagram, bringing you Drutter madness as we go into half. Eastern Washington Eagles leading Seton Hall by 2. Any thoughts at half on possible adjustments, Kleiny? Did you have a chance to catch up with either coach?
Yeah, I had a couple chances to catch up with both of them, and both had kind of similar stories. And I'm hoping each team saves some of Michael's secret stuff for the second half. Both teams are going to need to muster up a strong performance if either of them hope to walk out of here as winners. To me, the Pirates have been like a bad case of Gang Green and just aren't going away. I expect Coach Willard has a few more tricks up his bandana. And the fact that it's illegal to shoot a bald eagle tells me these fellas aren't going anywhere either. They tend to thrive in colder environments, so we'll see if they cool off the scurvy dogs in the second half and make a run, even pull out, or pull away.
Excellent. Thanks for those insights, and we will see if any adjustments are made. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Some quick halftime entertainment brought to you by Drutter Brothers Book of the Month, Fleabag, The Scriptures. Great show on Amazon. Check it out if you get the chance. Until then, Here's a quick excerpt from episode 2 of Fleabag, The Scriptures by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. X, Claire's house, day. The last echo of a doorbell fades. Fleabag is standing outside. Claire opens the door. She is surprised to see Fleabag, who never comes over. Plus, no one ever just knocks anymore. Thank you for indulging us in a quick reading from our book of the month. That was The House Coming Down. Thank you so much. I didn't think it was that great, but the viewers have loved it. Let's get back to the action. What do you say, Driller Brother Kleiny?
Well, you got me hot and bothered after that performance. Excuse me while I go to my private room for just a few minutes. I will be back.
And Driller Brother Kleiny will be right back, but there's no waiting here at Drutter Madness as we head back to the action. A quick breakdown. Looks like both teams shooting almost equally from the field, just over 40% each. Eastern Washington having a bit better go of it with shots falling, getting a few more up 2 as we start the second half. They'll start with the ball. 14-12, dribbling, passes it, foul. That could almost be an excerpt from Ferris Bueller Goes to Drutter Madness right there. Bueller, dribbling. The pass in, up top, number 3, swings it over to number 5. That's Jack Perry to Kassan Roos, who gets it inside to number 32, Mason Peatling, who gives it back to Jack Perry. And Jack Perry will get to the line one more time. He's been to the line a lot. He might have been talking to your dad, Kleiny.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That guy knows how to get around.
And Jack Perry puts the first one in from the charity stripe, trying to get 2. He's missed a few in the first half, but might have a little bit more energy after a quick rest at halftime. He does. He sinks the second, pushing Eastern Washington's lead to 4. We may have a huge upset on our hands. Knock on wood. Don't speak too early. I can't help it. I get excited. The madness takes over. Seton Hall driving in, not getting it to foul, but will get the chance to redeem themselves at the line. Number 2, Quincy McKnight, shooting 2.
Hope he can score 2 from the charity stripe. He'd be the first one in history to score 2 here, if you know what I mean.
I certainly do. And once again, related to Brian McKnight, making him hit the C note as he can't sing that one into the silky nylon. Misses the first. Resets for the second. Quincy McKnight missing the second, and Eastern Washington pulls the boards down. Despite being the smaller team, really boarding well on the defensive end. That's just fundamentals there. As Jack Perry slices in for the layup. Showing no fear going against the big guys. Putting it up, getting inside the lane, and putting up points at the free throw line as well. Jack Perry really putting on a show offensively. Seton Hall get that one to fall to keep it within 4. They got to pick up their defense and allow the Eagles to stop swooping in for those layups. Playing hard.
Looks like they got a bad case of gangrene over there.
Gangrene. Green means go and game on as Eastern Washington throws it back in. Number 5 dumps it in again to Jack Perry, number 3. Only 6'2". He is not missing inside the lane. Seton Hall slings it to the baseline. Dribble drive stopped by Kassan Roos. Drives inside and can't get it to fall. Sandro Mamakalaviji cannot get that one to fall. Seton Hall down 6. They're feeling the season slip away a little bit as Eastern Washington having their way offensively. That's the 14th foul. Not quite in the bonus, but a lot of time left in the second. These fouls might come back to bite Seton Hall in the end. Eastern Washington shooting well from the line so far. A 3 attempted and good by number 34, Jacob Davison. A 33% shooter. We said earlier that these Eagles can shoot. And they haven't yet so far, but watch out if they bring that side into their arsenal. They're going to be hard to stop as they have the momentum and the drive. Jason Muzinski is back. Thank you for joining. Seton Hall thanks you as well, although they might be a bit embarrassed so far as getting just beaten down by the lower seed so far. The Eagles showing their claws and talons here. Seton Hall, not to be denied though, finding that buried treasure as he works hard inside to put that 2 down. Gives him a look as he walks past as if to say, I'm here to stay. So far you haven't been, young man. Hustle back on D and put your team back in the lead. That was number 23, Sandro, once again inside with the layup. Eastern Washington, though, just laying it on, doing it from all spots on the court. These guys got an eagle eye, that's for sure, as their spot-up shooters are not missing in the second half. 4 minutes to go, Eastern Washington up 25-16. Seton Hall working the ball a little better around the arc. Let's see if they take advantage of those big guys. They really haven't gone to them in the first or second half. A puzzling strategy, as they definitely have the height advantage. Eastern Washington getting it inside, but blocked by the big man, using his length. That was 6'11" forward Sandro Mamouk. I can't say the rest of it. My apologies again. Eastern Washington pulls down the miss by Seton Hall, remaining up 9. 3.5 left. Seton Hall getting a little frantic on defense. Eastern Washington might be able to work it around for an easy one if they're patient. They have been so far. 43 with it inside, gets it taken away. Kim Aiken gets it taken away. Good defense by the big guys down low of Seton Hall, and the dunk on the other end gets the crowd back on their feet. Down 7, but feeling a little bit of energy, but denied their energy by number 3. You guessed it, Jack Periwinkle Perry from Melbourne, Victoria, the Canadian, coming in and saying, this is what free healthcare can do for you. KPP, yeah, you know me, joining. Shout out. We love our female viewers just as much as our male viewers. You know, basketball is really it's a both gender, all sex, non-gender, binary, non-binary sport. Interesting enough, the one of the teams in the last game, their first team was actually a women's team before the men's took over 2 years later. As we get back to, I believe it was Utah State, in fact, as we get back to the action, Seton Hall now down 10, 28-18. Eastern Washington Eagles, just a commanding lead with 2.5 left in the second half. Running the top hat play we've seen a lot of, and draining another one from outside. That's 34, Jacob Davison again. Vroom, vroom. He's got his Harley kick started, as he hasn't looked back since putting that first tray in early in the half. Eastern Washington with the steal, and just shutting the door right now on the Pirates. It's like the East India Trading Company just came in and said, Pirates? What Pirates? And, you know, they, you know what happened there. This is the tale.
Eastern Washington came in and said, I'm the captain now.
That's right. But the captain from Seton Hall, or maybe not the captain, but we've heard his name a lot this game, Quincy McKnight, number 2, trying to keep his team in it a little bit. Under 2 minutes to go, down 13. They need to toughen up that D and start putting in some buckets. A good attempt there at the charge. I thought it should have been a no call, but he's going to get clipped there with the defensive, and he certainly doesn't like that one. And it'll put, you guessed it, number 3, Jack Perry, back on the line. Dribbles, sets. It's up, and it falls in, getting the first of that 1-and-1, I believe, as they're in the bonus. Seton Hall's going to have to start fouling here. If Eastern Washington keeps knocking down their free throws like Jack Perry is, it's going to be tough to come back. He knocks down both, pushing the lead back to 15, and a much-needed timeout from Seton Hall. Might be a little bit too late there, Kevin. We're speaking of Kevin Willard, coach of Seton Hall, calling the timeout to reset. They really got to make some magic happen.
Yeah, it sounds like these Eastern Washington Eagles really found their sea legs, which the Pirates didn't expect. The Eagles were able to swoop in and take this one by the sails.
That's right. Right by the sails. Putting holes in Seton Hall's sails and taking them for their own. One or the other. Eastern Washington has been flying high all game. Seton Hall trying to get it done, putting up a quick shot, the right idea, but can't get it to fall off the back iron. Another brick for Kleiny's guest house. Thank you, no thank you. Number 34 with it, Jacob Davison. He's been hot from outside, but gets a little too fancy and loses it. The Pirates rush up court, get it out to the three-point line, but doesn't pull the trigger, wasting more time. Dribbles inside, takes the one, but blocked by number 5, Kassan Roos. The triple, and he'll get a foul call. The chance for 3 points while the clock is stopped. A huge opportunity here for Seton Hall. Tack on 3, no time runs off the clock. Maybe steal some momentum back. Get a little bit of a breather. Down 15, a minute 09 to go. They got to get on their horse. Or, the Black Pearl, fastest ship in the 7 seas. As Romaro Gill goes to the line. It's only a 63% shooter, probably one of the lower percentage shooters on their team. Surprising to see him taking a 3 there. But hey, he gets 1 of 3, and 1's better than none. As they draw to 14, 1 shy of their quinceañera, although they won't be celebrating much if they can't score more points. A turnover on Eastern Washington, almost trying to give the game back to Seton Hall. You like to see camaraderie, but there it is. Seton Hall giving it right back. The back and forth. Christmas in March. Both teams feeling very sharing with the ball. 40 seconds left. Eastern Washington just running this one out. Not trying to add insult to injury. Working the passing. Getting some good movement on the offense. Running their sets. That's what you like to see. Real sportsmanship out of the winning team today. And with that, we assume Kleiny is not a fan of sportsmanship. He's always been a real aggressive type. He's not mean, but he'll run your mom over to win the game.
Yeah, let's just say, why don't we cut the chit-chat, a-hole? Let's get back to the action, right?
And you heard him. There's that fire we've come to expect from brother Kleiny. Seton Hall needs some with the last 30 seconds needing a bucket load of points. Shiver me timbers, another one won't go, and they are about to walk the plank on this tournament.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough buckets on the ship to save it from sinking.
No, I don't think so. No amount of buckets are going to bail them out here. And a block does add a little bit of insult to injury. Eastern Washington pulling down the board, and they'll just run the clock out 4-3 as they will go into the next round. A huge upset, beating the Pirates by 12, 35-23. Eastern Washington Eagles flying into round 2 of Drutter Madness. Thank you all for tuning in. It was a pleasure this Sunday evening. Sunday fun day all night long. Thanks for joining. KPP, Luzinski, Seymour. I'm assuming Z-Paints and Gantz are on the line. They have been all day. Let's go down to players of the game as both teams played hard. But Eastern Washington just getting it done in the end with number 3. We all could have guessed it, Jack Periwinkle Perry with a whopping 20 points for the Eastern Washington Eagles. That's a tournament high so far. Speaking of high, it is Sundays, so let's blaze. Number 14 from Seton Hall, not quite as hot, but putting in 4 points. That's 14. Jared Roden, we did hear his name a few times. Him and Quincy McKnight pacing the Pirates in what you can call a mediocre effort overall. Any last thoughts, Kleiny?
It's just the way these games go. There's not enough booty to go around for the lot of us. As you said it before, Drutter Cooley, Seton Hall walked the plank early and just couldn't recover. But I think if they scrub the deck hard, make some updates to the hull, these guys might be a top 10 team next year.
And we hope they'll be back and back with a fire. Until then, best of luck to Eastern Washington Eagles in the next round. Stay tuned for another round 1 game coming later tonight. Check our Instagram for updates. All games up live at drutterbrothers.com/videos. Late bracket entries will be considered. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Join us later for some more Drutter madness on a Sunday fun day. We are out, Drutter Nation.